38,000 metric tons of domestic gas has been ordered during March. Accordingly, 300,000 gas cylinders will be distributed island-wide according to a regular timetable. The company added that the gas supply will be normalized gradually.
Department of Census and Statistics says that inflation in this January has decreased compared to last December. The inflation is estimated based on National Consumer Price Index. Accordingly, the inflation in last December was 2.9% and it has gone down to 2.4% in January. The 4.4% inflation in food category has also decreased up to 3.4%. Accordingly, media release issued by the Department of Census and Statistics, there is no change in the inflation of non-food category.
Sri Lanka's export sector has reached a significant milestone as the first shipments under the UK's Reformed Developing Countries Trading Scheme began their journey to British markets. This landmark transition, which officially took effect at the start of this year, is expected to catalyse a 10% growth in production volumes by removing long-standing trade barriers. British High Commissioner Andrew Patrick and Deputy Minister Chaturanga Besinga visited key logistics and quality assurance hubs north of Colombo to witness these initial shipments being prepared. The delegation toured facilities managed by Speedmark, Maersk and Aitken Spence, which serves as critical hubs for major British retailers like Next and Tesco. Under the new DCTS rules, Sri Lankan manufacturers can now source fabrics from across the globe while still qualifying for duty-free access to the UK, a change that significantly boosts their global competitiveness. Beyond trade volume, these shifts highlight a move towards sustainable logistics, with the delegation observing carbon management systems and battery-powered operations already in place. This transition is set to support thousands of jobs across the apparel and warehousing sectors, strengthening the economic bridge between Sri Lanka and the United Kingdom.
The national program to grant absolute ownership of lands to people who have been developing and occupying lands under the permits and grants will commence on the 27th in Anuradhapura. Inauguration of the Himikama program is scheduled for 2 p.m. at the North Continental Province Council Auditorium in Kotikahavatta, Anuradhapura, under the patronage of President Anurukumara Dissanayake. The initiative aims to provide freehold grant certificates to confirm absolute ownership of occupants who have been developing land granted under the Land Development Ordinance of number 19 of 1935. The first stages will be Anuradhapura, where 500 Himikama freehold grants are expected to be distributed to beneficiaries. This is initial distribution will cover Divisional Secretariat divisions in Anuradhapura district, including Galnavava, Nachikaduwa, Nochiyagama, and following the launch, the program is scheduled to be implemented island-wide. Deputy Minister Arvind Senrath said that the lack of proper land ownership and delays in land development were having significant negative impact on the country's economy. He stated that his party has recognized the issue as a major political concern and therefore concluded that the policy agreements in the manifesto aimed at resolving long-standing land-related problems. The Deputy Minister also noted that although successive governments had introduced various political projects in the past, they had failed to implement them successfully. As a result, he explained that the administration had designed a formal and well-planned program to systematically grant land titles under a structured framework that could be practical and implemented on the ground. He added that the government was now ready to roll out Himikam program to provide secure land ownership to the people. Commissioner General of Land, Chandana Ranavirarachi, said that the conflicts had arisen because the parents and children as well as siblings over the partitioning of land and inability to sell and distribute the proceeds. He explained that because of the land in urban areas were not being utilized for economic activities, both the landowners and potential buyers had lost opportunities to freely use land such as commercial assets within the economy. He added that the Himikama program will be initiated as a solution to address these issues.
33 residents in the Colombo district were provided with freehold grants today under the theme A Thriving Nation, Beautiful Life. Minister Lal Kanta handed over the freehold grants to the recipients. The recipients were provided with freehold deeds for their block of land where they reside. Deputy Minister Arvind Senrath was also present at this occasion. Minister Lal Kanta said that everyone accepted the urgent need to resolve long-standing land issues without allowing another 30 to 40 years to pass. He pointed out that without proper ownership, landholders were unable to use their land as collateral for bank loans, legally transfer it to their children or construct buildings with certainty, noting that the absence of clear title created continuous insecurity and even prevented the building of proper houses. The minister stressed that the lands in question were not being distributed to newcomers but to long-term residents who had lived on and developed the properties for many years despite lacking legal ownership. He further stated that retaining these lands under government control without granting freehold deeds amounted to a crime against the country as it is delayed economic development.
Minister of Housing, Construction and Water Supply Dr. Susil Rana Singh says that the government expects to construct 31,000 for income of low-income families under 6 ministries during this year, out of which 25,000 houses are scheduled to be constructed under the District 8. The minister made these remarks at a media briefing held in the Government Information Department today. Minister Susil Rana Singh said that the 2 housing programs were being implemented under 6 ministries, one of which was managed by the National Housing Development Authority. He explained that under Resettlement Division, a housing construction project was underway for people displaced by war in northern and eastern provinces. He said that the work in the project had commenced in the 16th under the patronage of the President in Jaffna, and on the 20th of January the work had also begun in Gaul. Under the patronage of the Prime Minister, he added that the arrangement had been made to provide housing for assistance for approximately 10,000 families, amounting a total allocation of 10,000 million rupees. Each family, it is said, that was expected to receive a non-prepayable grant out of 1 million rupees for the construction of their own houses. He further mentioned that the distribution checks worth 1,500 million rupees had been already begun for the construction of 1,500 houses. Chairman of the Housing Development Authority, Arvind Srinath, stated that in 2025 the total of 4,000 houses had been completed and handed over to respective beneficiaries. He noted that in 2026 the target had been increased threefold. He said that the first group of beneficiaries consisted of 1,774 individuals who were receiving their first check of 150,000 rupees. He further stated that the distribution of housing units across the district included 100 houses in Kalutara, 170 in Kandy, 112 in Mathura, 105 in Hambantota and 120 in Bateklo.
The Presidential Commission appointed to investigate reported frauds and corruption in the Colombo Municipal Council has extended the duration to obtain information and public complaints until the 16th of March. A presidential commission has been appointed to investigate reported frauds and corruption, criminal breach of trust and power, misuse of government assets and privileges, as well as other malpractices said to have occurred from 2010 to 2025 in the Colombo Municipal Council. Any written complaint in this regard can be forwarded to number 152 Gore Road, Colombo 3, addressed to Secretary of the Commission in Sinhala, Tamil or English languages. Name, address, telephone number, national identity card number or the passport number have to be mentioned by those who provide complaints or information. In addition, in case they wish to not reveal their identity, the same also can be requested. Those who wish to provide information to the Commission verbally can dial hotline number 011 2301 735 and get an appointment by reserving a date for this purpose.
President of the Malaysian Manufacturers Federation, Jacob Lee Chorokok, and EXO members met with the Acting High Commissioner of Sri Lanka, Muhammad Rizvi, at the Sri Lanka High Commission in Kuala Lumpur today. A donation of Malaysian ringgit 50,000 to rebuild Sri Lanka Fund was presented at the event. The donation reflected the strong friendship and cooperation between Sri Lanka and Malaysia during the challenging times that Sri Lanka was facing. During the discussion, the work being done by the Foreign Ministry of Malaysia was appreciated. Attention was also paid to increasing employment opportunities for Sri Lankans in Malaysian factories and organizing Malaysian business delegations to participate in the Expo in Sri Lanka in 2026.
A high-level Indian delegation led by Kaishanand Giriji Maharaj, the chief priest of the Ayodhya Shiva temple, arrived at the Bandar International Airport in Karnataka this morning for a special spiritual and diplomatic visit. The group, consisting of 14 clergy and lay members, arrived from New Delhi via Sri Lankan Airlines flight UL192. They were officially received at the airport by Deputy Minister of Tourism Ruwan Ranasinghe. During their stay, the delegation is scheduled to visit several of Sri Lanka's most revered Hindu sites, including the Tirukiteswaram Temple in Mana, Naguleswaram in Jaffna, Koneswaram in Trincomalee and the Sitaamman Temple in Nuwara, as well as the historic Shiva Temple ruins in Polonnaruwa. Additionally, the delegation is slated to hold a special discussion with Vijitha Herath, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism.
Minister Dr. Nalin Dasi says that the government is taking steps to add value to the postal service, which has not been updated to proper development for years. The minister made these remarks joining an opening of the Makara and Handungama sub-post offices in Matale district yesterday. The two sub-post offices have been constructed under the financial provision of 5.79 million rupees each. It is significant that the construction work was completed within a short period of 4 months. Under the project, modernizing post offices, Bandaragiri and Balapitiya post offices are scheduled to be vested with the public. Measures have been taken to modernize post offices in Polonnaruwa, Jaffna, Mullaitivu and Batticaloa districts as well. Minister Dr. Nalin Dasi stated that after a considerable period, the government had allocated 200 million rupees to the postal department to address several long-standing issues. He explained that for nearly 10 to 12 years, no fund had been allocated in building construction within the department. This resulted in a number of post office buildings becoming dilapidated and unattractive. Some post offices, including those in Galevawa and Bandaragiri, had been constructed about 50 years ago and had deteriorated to a condition beyond renovation. Minister said that those buildings have now been completely reconstructed at a total allocation of 60 million rupees and had been used to construct new post offices buildings. The openings were currently underway. In addition, he noted that the further 60 million rupees had been allocated for renovation of existing post offices.
A special program was organized yesterday at the Universal Spiritual Center in Serenda, Malaysia, to mark the Chinese New Year. This event was held under the patronage of the center's director, Dr. Olukarute Revathatero. Joining the festivities was the Acting High Commissioner of Sri Lanka to Malaysia, Muhammad Rizvi. The celebration saw a diverse gathering, including Sri Lankans living in Malaysia and a group of Malaysian Chinese who all participated in the event to mark the Lunar New Year.
2026. To thank our departed one lead.
Crystal Symphony luxury cruise arrived at the Ashraf Jetty in Trincomalee this morning with 558 tourists. According to the passenger ship, which has a 400-member crew, reached Trincomalee from Bahamas Island. The vessel is scheduled to leave the country tonight.
According to the Meteorology Department, a decrease in present rainy day weather situation is expected from today, with low pressure zone in the southwestern Bay of Bengal being shifted away from the island. Showers or thunder showers might occur in several places in southern province and Ratnapura and Kaltara districts. Normal conditions may prevail in central in rest of the island, and foggy weather conditions may prevail in central, Sabaragamuwa and north central provinces in Galle, Mathura and Kurnagal districts. In early morning, the weather communique issued by the afternoon today has indicated that showers with strong winds and lightning are to be expected. Director General of the Meteorology Department, Atul Naika, pointed out that the weather system is currently active in deep sea area of the northeastern coast of Sri Lanka in the Bay of Bengal. According to the Meteorology Department, he warned that those engaged in fishing and naval activities in deep sea regions should expect high caution. He noted that the area could be experiencing heavy rainfall, strong winds and rough sea conditions. Two sluice gates of the Kadwal Reservoir have been opened by 2 inches each. A volume of 250 cubic feet of water per second is being released. Galil area, Colombo-Batiklo main road has been inundated since the Mahavali River is in spate. Vehicle traffic has been hampered since the Sugalavila road leading to ancient Somavati sacred site is underwater. According to our correspondent, the area is inundated about 3 feet of water.
The Colombo Stock Exchange ended today's trading positively. The all-share price index closed at 23,783.02 after rising by 9.38 points, which represents a 0.04% change. The S&P SL20 index closed at 6,728.71, up by 7.24 points and 0.11%. Total market capitalization at the close of trading stood at 8.421 trillion rupees. Market turnover for the day amounted to 2.56 billion rupees with 97.47 million shares traded. Welcome back, and in news from overseas, Mexico's most wanted drug lord Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, better known as El Mencho, has been killed during a military operation triggering a wave of violence across several Mexican states.
Authorities say that the leader of the powerful Jalisco New Generation cartel died after being seriously injured during clashes with security forces. Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, widely known as El Mencho, was killed on Sunday during a security operation carried out by Mexican Special Forces. Mexico's defense ministry said he was seriously injured in a firefight between his bodyguards and military in the town of Tlalpala in Jalisco state. He later died while being transported to Mexico City. El Mencho was the leader of the Jalisco New Generation cartel, also known as the CJNJ, of one of Mexico's most powerful and feared criminal groups. The cartel is accused of trafficking large quantities of cocaine, methamphetamine and fentanyl into the United States. The United States had offered a $15 million reward for information leading to his capture. Mexican authorities said the U.S. intelligence provided complimentary information for the operation. Following the news of his death, cartel members launched retaliatory attacks on multiple states. Vehicles were set on fire, roads were blocked, businesses were torched in cities including Gujarat and tourist destinations of Puerto Vallarta. Public transport was suspended in place of Jalisco and flights were cancelled amid security concerns. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum urged citizens to remain calm, stating that the most parts of the country activities were proceeding normally.
A powerful winter storm has brought parts of the northeastern United States to a standstill, dumping up of 2 feet snow in some areas. New York City is under its first blizzard warning in nearly a decade, with thousands of flights cancelled, schools closed and hundreds of thousands left without power. A massive winter storm is battering the northeast United States, with heavy snow winds reaching up to 70 miles per hour, causing widespread disruption. According to the National Weather Service, parts of the East Coast have recorded more than 22 inches of snowfall. Areas including New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania and Massachusetts are under winter storm and blizzard warnings. In New York City, where a travel ban remains in place, more than 15 inches of snow fell overnight. Iconic landmarks such as the Empire State Building were seen engulfed in snow as the storm intensified. Air travel has been severely affected. Over 5,000 flights have been cancelled nationwide, with major disruption reported at John F. Kennedy International Airport and LaGuardia Airport states.
Now to sports news. First, a look at the T20 World Cup. South Africa was able to register a 77-run victory against India in the Super 8 round of the match of the T20 World Cup cricketing tournament. The match was played in Ahmedabad, India yesterday. South Africa, batting first, scored 187 runs for 7 wickets in their allotted 20 overs. David Miller scored 63. Dilwar Brevis added 45, while Tristan Stubbs contributed an unbeaten 44 runs. In bowling, Jasprit Bumrah claimed 3 wickets for India. In reply, could only manage 111 runs, all out in 18.5 overs. Shuan Dubes, top scorer with 42 runs. Marco Jansan schemed 4 wickets for South Africa in bowling, while Keshav Maharaj and Corbin Bosch came 3 and 2 wickets respectively.
And in more sports news, Sri Lanka women's cricket team won the one-day cricket tournament against West Indies women's team with a match remaining by winning the second match by 14 runs. The tournament is being held in the West Indies. Sri Lanka batting first in the second match scored 208 runs, all out in 47.1 overs. Vishmi Gunaratne scored 58 runs. Harshita Samaravikrama contributed with 35 runs, while Chamari Atapattu added a valuable 32 runs. In reply, West Indies women's team could manage only 194 runs, all out in 48 overs. Janalia Glasgow scored a half-century. In bowling, Sugandhika Kumari and Inoka Ranavira shared 3 wickets each, while Deumi Vihanga claimed 2 wickets. The third match of the series will be on the 25th of February.
That's it for tonight's English News Telecast. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
Good night.